Hello dear investors. Website in touch GURU.Markets. Thank you very much for paying attention to us. We will analyze the current performance of the company Nouveau Monde Graphite Inc., ticker NMG. The review was made using current information at the time, July 11, 2024. According to classification GURU.Markets, company Nouveau Monde Graphite Inc. belongs to the subcategory coal miners. 14 companies participate in the comparison, which is more or less representative. Let's start with summary data for the company. If necessary, you can pause it. You can look at all the parameters of the corporation in question carefully. Access to the table with the ticker structure is absolutely free and open. I kindly ask you to give a link to this issue to your friends. Market capitalization of the organization Nouveau Monde Graphite Inc. estimated at $0.2 billion. And the market capitalization of the subcategory is $23 billion. Nouveau Monde Graphite Inc. accounts for a share of 0.868%. This is one of the small companies in the subcategory. The company's balance sheet capitalization is estimated at $0.04 billion. With a subcategory capitalization of $14 billion. Nouveau Monde Graphite, NMG, accounts for a share of 0.264%. Comparing the shares of stock exchange and book value, we see the following. Occupied share Nouveau Monde Graphite, NMG, in the subcategory in case of market value assessment is 0.868%. The balance sheet capitalization is 0.264%, which is 70% less than the share of market value. Assessment of the organization's share of market and balance sheet capitalization in the subcategory. Bad, -1 point. The company's debt obligations amount to $0.026 billion. Debt to book value represents 65% of the company's equity. Assessment of the company's financial obligations. Tolerable, 0 points. The ratio of a company's stock market value to its profit is 0. While the average in the subcategory is 7.3, which is much worse than in the subcategory. Assessment of stock price to earnings ratios in comparison with subcategory companies. Very bad, -2 points. Profit for the last 12 months was -$47 million. Future earnings for the next 12 months are unknown. This is extremely bad for the company's prospects. An assessment of the projected future profit indicator in comparison within the subcategory. Bad, -1 point. The ratio of company value to revenue corresponds to 0. The subcategory average is 1.1, which is significantly worse than the subcategory average. Evaluation of the market price to revenue indicator in comparison with indicators in the subcategory. Bad, -1 point. Revenue for the last 12 months was $0 million. Future revenue for the next 12 months is unknown, which is very bad for the company's price. Assessment of projected future revenue in comparison with the indicators of companies in the subcategory. Bad, -1 point. The sales margin is 0%, with an average for the subcategory of 14.8%. The difference between the subcategory average and the company's performance is 14.8%. Profitability assessment in comparison with indicators in the subcategory. Tolerable, -0.5 points. The company's share in terms of the number of subcategory personnel is 0.502%. This is 73% less than the share of market capitalization. And this reflects the discrepancy between the market value of the organization Nouveau Monde Graphite, NMG, rather towards revaluation. The amount of capital for each employee of the company is $1,631,000. Whereas for the subcategory $943,000. The difference between the subcategory average and the company's performance is 73%. Estimation of the amount of company capital per employee in comparison with the indicators of subcategory companies. Tolerable, 0 points. The volume of profit for each employee of the company is $0,000. Average in the subcategory, $129,900. The difference between the subcategory average and the company's performance is 100%. Estimation of profit per employee in comparison with the indicators of companies in the subcategory. Tolerable, minus 0.5 points. Revenue per individual employee of the company is $0,000. By subcategory $879,000. The difference between the subcategory average and the company's performance is 100%. Estimation of revenue per company employee in comparison with indicators in the subcategory. Tolerable, minus 0.5 points. The volume of sales transactions corresponds to 0.7%, with an average for the subcategory of 6%. This is a short squeeze risk indicator. Indicator RSI, 14, shows a level of 34% for the company Nouveau Monde Graphite, NMG. While in the subcategory the RSI level, 14, is approximately 49%. Technically, shares in the subcategory are valued higher than Nouveau Monde Graphite, NMG. Comparing the price movement of a company's shares Nouveau Monde Graphite, NMG, and subcategory companies. We see that over the last 12 months stocks Nouveau Monde Graphite, NMG, showed dynamics of minus 41.2%. Against the price dynamics for the subcategory 19%. This definitely doesn't mean anything, but you need to take note of this fact. The result is as follows. Minus 7.5 out of 10 points. Average result for the subcategory. Minus 0.2 points. If you look very broadly, within the entire US market in aggregate, we see that the average result for the entire stock market as a whole is 0.4 points. Against a score of minus 7.5 points for Nouveau Monde Graphite, NMG. Let's go to the order table. It is available to everyone. A link to it is in the pinned comment. The order table contains absolutely all previously made decisions by the information and reference system GURU.Markets. Access to the order table is free and open. Link in pinned comment. We need to remind you that June 11, 2024. We published an order, ticker NMG. Information and Reference Assessment System GURU.Markets. The following decision was made on this order. Close the order. The profit was 15.3%. Thank you very much to everyone for watching this video and for using the information system from GURU.Markets. You really are the coolest audience.